We're living in a world that is so connected, yet there is so much of loneliness in the world today. So many people are silently struggling through loneliness, trying to navigate this complex array of opinions, suggestions, things you should be doing to help you overcome these feelings of isolation. One of the most important things when it comes to loneliness is to recognize that it's not your fault. So many people will try and push you down or nudge you down a rabbit hole where you start to go through this process of self-judgment and you try and critically analyze yourself relative to others and try and conform your behaviors to theirs, and almost like you start to create this false persona in order to fit in and conform to the norms of the people that you're currently surrounded by. And that is something that is so dangerous because it will essentially push you down a path where it will take you further and further away from your authentic self. It will lead you to creating false personas and having even more work to do later down the line in order to really address this loneliness problem at the root. When you find yourself even adapting, you may get that temporary sense of connection, but it's not that deep, meaningful connections that you truly want. So one of the main things that I realized was recognizing that it's not your fault. Embrace who you are as your authentic self. As you take to this path of trying to step into your authentic self and take the strides to really understand who you are and to embrace who you are, oftentimes you will be thrown with curveballs and challenges in the form of people that may have opinions about you. And sometimes you may attract these people into your life and you think, I found my friends, I found the people that I can have a meaningful connection with. And it is these very people that will try and push you away from their lives by telling you, hey, you should think about attending other events. You should think about attending other social circles, trying to push yourself into environments where you can attract people that resonate with you. It's almost like they take this feeling of, I feel sorry for you, that is why I'm welcoming you into my circle of friends. So they lack its very innate authenticity. And these type of relationships are tests from the world in order to see whether it can break you away from your authenticity, to pull you back into the state where you try and change who you are in order to fit in. And this can be one of those critical moments in your life that can make or break you towards your progress in terms of overcoming these feelings of loneliness. And something we need to be so mindful of, because these traps are all out there, and as you're going on this journey to overcoming loneliness, the more and more you're going to find yourself with these obstacles that are going to constantly try and pull you back into stepping into an inauthentic version of yourself, where you try and conform, where you try to critically look at yourself. What am I doing wrong to not fit in? Why are the people that I think I resonate with and I like pushing me away from their life? Why am I constantly feeling in this state of disconnect, in the state of isolation, not finding those meaningful relationships in my life in order to help me surpass these feelings of loneliness? So these are something to be mindful of as you're moving along on this journey to stepping into your authenticity. And another key message I'd like to leave you with is to remember that your very existence in this world is your right to embrace who you authentically are. As long as you're not hurting or doing harm to anyone, your very existence is your God-given right to be your authentic self. And it's important to recognize that and to not give meaning to people's opinions who are trying to take you away from who you inherently are. I'd like to give you a little bit of context, because you may be wondering, who am I to be talking about loneliness? I even have this insecurity before I even posted this video to think about it critically and say, well, is this something I really should be talking about? Because I tend to find myself in the midst of this journey trying to overcome these feelings of loneliness. However, it's been a story of my life. For many, this feeling of loneliness may be something that has arisen recently or something that you're going through as part of a midlife crisis. For my own journey, it's been something that I've gone through from the time I was a child. I often felt rejected and I was thrust into a world where loneliness became the inherent nature of my life. A lot of the opinions of others are often that you should try and force yourself into a situation where you can fit into society. And because of this, because I constantly tried to conform myself in order to try and fit into society, to build up these false versions of self. And yes, it works for a time. You may fit in, but it creates this inner disconnect. And as I started going through life, I realized that I started feeling more and more lonely, more and more inauthentic. And even as I started stepping into my authenticity, there were oftentimes situations that the universe would throw at me. And these would be situations where, as I was stepping into myself, as I was stepping into my authenticity, as I was stepping into becoming a better version of myself, I found that I was attracting people that I thought, well, I really enjoyed these people's companies. And unfortunately, these very same people were the people that were pushing me and saying, well, you should attend these social mixes. You should attend this social event. You should go to this meetup event. You should do this. You should do that, with so many different opinions, trying to almost push me. The very people that I wanted in my life were pushing me away and trying to have me go out and find other meaningful connections. Because even though I may have thought that I'm resonating with them, they weren't feeling that mutual effect. And so the meaningful connections weren't being established. And the critical lesson was not to fall victim to these traps that the world may throw at you. Because I often done this. I tried to attend a lot of social events. I got into situations where I was in events where I was doing things like drinking alcohol in order to just fit in. And it wasn't something that I enjoyed. It wasn't an environment or the company that I enjoyed. I often went to these social mixes and used to try and fit in. But they left me with a larger void, a larger feeling of disconnect. And as soon as I got home, I could feel like the energy has been sucked out of me, and I used to feel more and more depressed from having attended these events. And I constantly tried to push myself into doing things in order to try and fit in. But the more I tried to do these, the more I realized that it was only making me feel more and more miserable. And the key here is to not force yourself into situations that don't resonate with you. Try and do the inner work. Try and step into the authenticity. And when the time is right, you will attract the people into your life that are truly meant to be. And I haven't yet got there. I'm still in a situation where I find myself on this journey. But the more I reflect on it, is I know I still need a lot more work in order to unfold my authentic self. And I'm going to take you through a lot of this through this 10-part series. And this is the first installment. And I want to take you through the different steps. My personal view is that this is a journey. It's not something that's a quick fix. It's not a destination that we get to. It's something that we need to go through. And sometimes it's not going to be as easy as just stepping into your authentic self and the magic is going to happen. There are many different factors that come into play along this journey, and that I think we need to have the patience and the compassion for ourselves as we go through this journey. I'm still very much in the midst of this journey, despite this being almost a story of my life. It's not something that I think is a one-size-fits-all solution for everyone. It's going to be something that everybody is a unique person in and of themselves, and they may have unique characteristics. And it's about recognizing who you are and recognizing the work that needs to be done in your life. It's all about tailoring it to your unique circumstances. And with that, I wish you well on this journey. And as always, please remember, this is a journey. It's not a destination. It requires us to embrace the very process of trying to unfold ourselves. If any of this resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and join me on this journey navigating loneliness. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video.